Hey guys, welcome to Technibility, your source for no-nonsense tech. Finally got my hands on the iPhone 7 Plus. This would be the jet black model. So we're going to go ahead and do a full review. So let's go ahead and get started. Clearly the first thing you see is the all black box for the jet black model. This is the 128GB model. I've already opened it, but I just want to go ahead and show you guys the box. Alright, let's go ahead and open it. Right there you guys see the phone. Again, I've already opened this and unboxed it. I haven't removed the plastic yet though, so I'll get to that in a second. I'm going to go ahead and put the phone aside here. Right here you see the wall port for the lightning cable. The headphone jack, which is now a lightning port headphone jack. Doesn't come with wireless headphones. And of course the actual lightning port. Alright, so there's the box. Here's the actual phone. The Jet Black 7 Plus, which is apparently the most popular phone in the world right now. I thank you guys for watching Technibility, your source for no-nonsense tech. If you already haven't, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Okay. Just go ahead and take a closer look at the Jet Black. You can see the bottom lightning port, the speaker, microphone. On the back, of course, you have the rear dual cameras with the flash, Apple logo, shiny, glossy, anodized metal finish. It's almost like a mirror. Apparently scratches easily. You can see the front with the 7-megapixel front-facing camera. Of course, the speaker up top, the taptic home button. Right over here you see the volume rockers with the vibrate mode. And on this side you have the power button. It's definitely a nice looking device. Feels good in the hand, it grips well. Not as slippery as you might think it would be if you were to look at it. If you were to just look at it, you would think it's slippery, but the phone is actually quite grippable. Probably more so than the matte, but it is a fingerprint magnet. This thing is going to get smudges and dust all over it. Even if you put it in a case, I've told people, cases tend to get little dust mites inside them, and those dust mites could cause scratches to your device, but it really depends on how picky you are about that. I mean, obviously, the device is going to have a wear and tear throughout the years, but if you want to avoid that at all costs, you can get a Slick Wraps, Skinomi body wrap, which would wrap around the entire phone, including these sides. So your bezels are protected as well. Alright, there you guys go. Let's go ahead and actually take a look at the software. Okay, so here you guys see the iPhone 7 Plus Jet Black model. Now as you can see behind it I have a microfiber cloth, and the reason why is because this device literally gets micro abrasions no matter what flat surface you place it on. So you're not going to be able to notice this if I was to turn it around and show you via this camera, but there are micro abrasions across the back. Alright, I did order a Slick Wraps, which will be coming soon, which will alleviate that issue in terms of any future scratches. And as you can see, I also have a tempered glass screen protector on it, and that's just for the screen. Alright, so let's get started with the specs. The iPhone 7 Plus is 7.3 millimeters in size, has a 12-megapixel dual camera on the back, quad LED flash, 7-megapixel front-facing camera. You got the taptic feedback home button. You got 3 gigabytes of RAM. Comes in a 32, 128, and 256 gigabyte model, unless you buy Jet Black, which only comes in 128 and 256. It's again an A10 processor. It's a fairly fast phone. I mean, when I say fairly fast, it's definitely utilizing the 3 gigs of RAM with the A10 processor. It's got a battery that is over 2,000 milliamps, so you're gonna get pretty solid battery life. But As good as the battery life is on this device, it takes forever to charge it. You know, it's just a very slow charging phone. You know, for whatever reason, it is what it is. And of course, it uses a lightning port. No headphone jack. You get the speaker on the bottom, speaker up here, proximity sensor, the volume rockers with the vibrate mode, power button, and nothing up top, of course. All right, now looking at the software, this thing is running iOS 10, which I've done a few videos on already, but I will get into the basics of iOS 10, let you know what the difference is between this and the 6S Plus. Now, of course, first thing would be the taptic home button. All right, so you can see it's basically pressure sensitive. If I was to say use the or want to use my shirt or a cloth or something to click on the home button, it's not going to work. Okay, so it only works when I tap it with my finger. All right, and again, it's pressure sensitive. You could adjust that if you'd like. You double tap, you can get the screen to, of course, come down. Because it is a big phone. Again, I did mention that the bezels on this phone are a little too big. Apple could have minimized the size of the bezel, and I'm just trying to get the control center up here. All right, of course, you have auto rotate, so you can auto rotate the screen and use it like this if you want. And there's a lot of kickstand cases that they sell for that, if that's your cup of tea. Having a little bit of an issue getting the control center up. Okay, so iOS 10, taptic home button. Of course, the dual camera on the back, which we'll get into. All right, you can see how 3D touch works here. And you could adjust the pressure of the 3D touch if you'd like. Okay, so I can't take this and I can't put it here. It's always going to put it back on the grid for me. All right, and that it is what it is in terms of the grid. Now you can see the widgets here on the notification bar. You could adjust and add widgets. You also have the panel here on the left. Okay, you can also multitask by simply pushing on the left right here, which also utilizes 3D touch. Yeah, again, in terms of speed, this thing is super fast. You see how quickly I'm opening and closing out of applications. So in terms of performance, it's a very, very fast phone. Okay, now in terms of media, you could see I have my multitude of different media applications. Let's go ahead and just watch some video here real quick right off the bat. Okay, let's look at the dialer here. You know what the dialer looks like? Or if you've used an iPhone at this point, you should know what the dialer looks like. Okay, you can see the news application here as well. Alright, it basically customizes your news aggregate for you. Again, you also have 3D touch, so that feature is still there. You can create a new message from the messaging app, call people from your contacts from the dialer app, I believe play music or search for your music through the music app. So useful in a multitude of different ways. So simple enough for video. Alright, you can see Facebook here, smooth, fluid, no checkerboarding. Okay, and again, it exits out ridiculously fast. Twitter, of course, the weather application here. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the gallery here. You can see the gallery. You can do by collection, albums, shared memories. So here you have my camera roll. Some photos I took. You have live photos as well, which we'll get into when we get into the camera. And you can edit these photos, clicking right here. You could share them, edit them, set as wallpaper, print, etc. So all those features are available here with iOS 10. Okay, here's the browser. Let's go ahead and just load up a website. Pinch zoom, very fast. Of course, if you push, if you long press on it for 3D touch, you can get links directly by clicking on the link. So I can get a preview of the link. I could open a new tab, add to reading list, and copy. So that's a 3D touch feature. Highlighting text. Okay. You can see minimizing it. Closing out of applications. Tell me the weather.
Here's the forecast for today.
What is 6 times 6 minus 3 to the second power?
Let me think. The answer is 27.
How old is Tom Cruise?
Tom Cruise is 54.
What is the definition of risky?
Risky means full of the possibility of danger, failure, or loss.
Open settings. Of course, you can also ask Siri to set reminders, send text messages. Here you see Apple Maps. So I'm losing my voice here. Okay, now I personally like Apple Maps, but I am a little bit more accustomed with Google Maps. It's synced with my account, has all my locations saved in there, but here you see Apple Maps. Of course, in comparison to Google Maps on the iPhone. Okay. Let's go ahead and look at some third-party games. Alright, so you guys saw NBA 2K16. Now in terms of an N22 benchmark, I took a screenshot of the score that I had gotten. So 159,305 on N22. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at the camera. Okay, zooming in. Let's see, I'm at 100% zoom. At 2x zoom. Alright, let's take a look at the detail or the brightness of the flash. Okay, very bright flash. Go ahead and go through some of the features here with the camera. So of course you have photo, square, panorama, video, slow-mo, and time-lapse. So you also have telephoto, again, which utilizes both of the lenses. You have the front-facing camera, obviously. 7 megapixel, great quality on the front-facing camera. You can see it has its own little flash. Also has live photo. You have your filters. Okay. Go ahead and take a look at some of the picture quality. Well, that came out bright. Okay, there's the flash photo that I took. You can see the detail. I'll go ahead and showcase some 1080p video. Sample 1080p video with the iPhone 7 Plus. 100% zoom. Alright, you guys can hear the audio here on the video. Pretty solid. There it is, quick sample 1080p video here with the iPhone 7 Plus. Alright, so all of your Apple apps are here. Keynote syncs with your watch, iMovie, iTunes U. I have a multitude of different utility apps, speed test, N22 benchmark. Of course it comes with Compass, Home. You could see Home here. It says control your home, securely control, monitor your home using the Home app, Control Center, Siri, and Apple Watch. Let's take a look at the lock screen. Of course, you have the fingerprint scanner. You can also swipe over to see your widgets, and now with iOS 10, you just click right here to open. If you don't have a passcode, you can also access your notifications and your camera through the lock screen. Okay, let's just go through some of the other regular applications: notes, reminders, clock, calendar. Again, if you're used to the iPhone 6s Plus and the size of it, then you're going to be very accustomed with this phone. And iOS 10, if you've already upgraded your device, updated your device with iOS 10, then you're going to be familiar with this. It does have a few differences in terms of the telephoto with the camera. Of course, updated specs, A10 processor, 3 gigs of RAM, 256 gigabyte variant. It's obviously the jet black finish is really nice looking. You know, my only issue with the jet black is, of course, not only the micro abrasions, which can kind of be overlooked, I suppose, if you have a case on it. But even putting a case on it, you know, a lot of times cases build up dirt inside the back of the case, which could also cause micro abrasions. But let's forget that altogether. The one thing about the design of the 7 that I'm not too crazy about are the bezels. And again, I will mention this. I just feel like at this point, Apple could have minimized the amount of bezels they have on the side, something I mentioned earlier, with the top, the bottom, and the sides. But then again, this device has sold millions of units, so maybe this is the design that people seem to like. I think it's a little too big. It could be a little bit smaller. You could pack even a bigger display, 5.7-inch display, on the bezel or on the frame that Apple has on the 7 Plus. So I think they could have either went down that route. Now the 1080p is good enough. I know a lot of OEMs are going with 2K. It's good enough. It doesn't mean it's industry standard, because 2K is pretty much on every Android OEM and Windows Phone OEM at this point. But Apple has stuck with a 1080 401 pixels per inch. So it's not to say that it's you know, bad to look at. It's definitely better than the regular 7 with the 326 pixels per inch. But hopefully by next year they will update the screen in terms of hopefully making, you know, creating less bezel, as well as upping the screen resolution. In terms of software, iOS 10 is solid enough. It's not really that buggy as far as I'm concerned. There was a recent update, so check your settings if you haven't already updated your phone. Not really much else I want to say about this device. Again, the jet black, if you're looking into getting this phone, the jet black is a nice looking color. But if you're picky about scratches, if you're not someone who really takes care of your phone in terms of babying it, then you may be better off with the matte black. I've always been a fan of black phones in general. I just like the way black wallpapers flow with the black frame and bezel. It's just been a preference of mine. So I do like the jet black because it's basically just as black as it can get in terms of a phone. But with that said, it is a phone that you're going to have to take care of. Now, a lot of times people won't care. A lot of people say that, I've heard this, that scratches add character to your device. So, hey, if that's how you feel, more power to you, man. If you're going to keep the phone, no problem. If you're going to resell it in the future, then at that point you may want to take care of it. Again, naked or slick wraps. There's Skinomic wraps that you can also buy on eBay and Amazon. Both really good options in terms of wrapping your phone, as well as a case. But again, I will mention that a case could still cause micro abrasions on the back of the device. If you want to avoid that altogether, just get the matte black. Or really, who cares, right? You're going to use the phone. It's going to get scratched, so be it. All right, there you guys go. The iPhone 7 Plus. I will be doing comparisons with this video and a ton of phones coming soon, as soon as possible. I was a little bit delayed in reviewing this specific device, but I did want to get it out there. So there you guys go. That's my review of the iPhone 7 Plus. If there's any questions that you guys have, ask me in the comment section below. I know a lot of people are still trying to get this device, so sit tight. If you've ordered it and you have a late October or early November shipping date, you might get it sooner, as a lot of people are. So just stay patient. It will come. Otherwise, that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover. Maybe not every feature on the phone, but everything I wanted to cover. So there you guys go. My name is Berj with Technibility. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up button. And if you already haven't, go ahead and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching.